Let's talk about one of the mouthpieces of the European Union, a top EU rejoiner, very top, Femi. Okay, I know what you're going to say. I know exactly what you're going to type in the comment section saying, Mahyar, don't give him airtime. Mahyar, don't give him attention. Be the grown-up. No. This is not one of those situations. So Femi made a video about me on YouTube, tried to debunk my claims, right? But it's not really about him. It's about the content of what is said. Because for decades in the West, we've completely ignored the political left, their ideology that's been used to brainwash the kids for generations. And this is what the situation we have now. So I'm not really responding to him personally. It's not really about him. It's about the fact that they still have a tiny platform, and that tiny platform, when they make a video or post a tweet, all the kids could get brainwashed and they could spread it around like a virus. So we have to stop this nonsense now. We have to debunk their claims when they try to spread nonsense. So that's my clarification. Now, Femi made a video on YouTube about me. Because we made a video about Femi and Alistair Campbell and a few other Ramonas who were basically talking about how because a lot of people who voted to leave the European Union were old, and a lot of them are dead now, so the result of the referendum can be questioned. So the young people are now growing up, we should give them another vote, right? And I mentioned that the whole argument is a little bit ageist, and it's also nonsensical about how democracy should work, a once in a generation vote, for example. But let's go to Femi. Just be patient with me. Tolerate this for a few minutes because it's very important. First, let's go to see what he had to say.
As you can imagine, as a young, black, politically active person who opposes Brexit, I get a lot of hate from the worst parts of the internet.
And here we go. Within seconds into the video, identity politics is here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care about your skin color. I'm not necessarily the most white ginger person in the world either. Anyway.
Let's hear his arguments.
This is ageist, and it's irrational, it's illogical, and it makes absolutely no sense.
Sorry, ageist? Ageist! He's calling our side of the conversation ageist. Remembering, of course, that it's Brexiteers like him who say that there should never be a referendum on rejoining the EU.
Wait, hang on. So his argument, and in the video he mentions, well, no, our side of the argument is not ageist. Brexit is ageist. Well, that's two very, very different things. I'm saying you are being ageist. You are literally, the argument you're making is ageist. A vote can't be ageist. A concept can't be ageist. Brexit, it means leaving the European Union. It's basically a concept. But the comments you made, and Alistair Campbell made, and many others, that is ageist. And also, a second referendum. We already had the referendum. And I'm not really in favor of referendums. I wasn't even in favor of the original referendum. Ideally, I wanted the political party to be grown-ups, to put it in their manifesto, if you elect us, we will leave the European Union. But we didn't have that option, so we had to be forced to implement a referendum. That was the whole idea behind that vote. Ideally, I wanted the political party, a Conservative Party or whatever, to just win an election and leave the European Union. But that's not how it worked.
Which means that according to him, anybody who is currently under the age of 25, i.e. wasn't able to vote in the 2016 referendum, should have less of a say in our relationship with the EU and the effects that's having on the economy than people who are 95 and dead.
According to me, well, that's a big strawman argument. No, dear, that's not what we are saying, because we still live in technically parliamentary democracy. You still can have a vote. Young people should have a say on a daily basis, and old people, everybody should be able to have a say in how their country is being run. And if you really care, you can stand for parliament, even as a young person. We have a very, very young person who's a new Labour MP, for example. No one's saying you shouldn't have a say. We've already left the EU, so you can have a say about what sort of relationship we have. You can actually have a political party to stand for parliament to say, okay, if I win, if we get a majority, we will get closer to the EU. It's fine. Put it on the manifesto. See if the people vote for you. People should have a say, and they do have a say. Calm down.
Because they're the ones in power, and they're supporting a government that recently admitted to deliberately suppressing the votes of young people.
Hang on. What? When did I become in power? How am I in power? I'm not a Tory. Why do these people always assume I'm a Tory, firstly? Secondly, that's not really the idea. So he mixes like two arguments in every sentence. He mixes two random things together, saying, well, you call our side of argument ageist, but you don't want a second referendum. That makes no sense. And then now he says, oh, you guys are in power, I know you don't want kids to have a vote. Well, yeah, of course we don't want kids to have a vote. Kids shouldn't have a vote because they're kids. The only reason the political left want the young people to vote because they've done their opinion polls that they see, oh, young people are more likely to be brainwashed by the political left so they can vote for us. Do you really think they care about children? Of course they don't. They care about their votes. Do you think when people lose their lives on their death certificate, they're going to say, okay, this was their age, this was their name, this is how they voted in 2016?
Same thing again. Honestly, some of their arguments are so stupid that they just highlight how ignorant they are. Because anybody who's paid attention to Brexit at all knows that on the day of the referendum, there were several exit polls done by YouGov and Lord Ashcroft, and they all showed the same thing. Older people mainly voted Brexit, younger people mainly voted Remain. And that generational divide still exists today. So all he's done with this video is either highlight how completely ignorant of the facts he is, or that he's hoping his 300,000 followers are. Have a great week.
So it wasn't enough to just insult me. He decided to also insult my subscribers and my followers. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Firstly, yes, more old people have died, and because they were a lot older. And a lot of them did vote to leave the European Union, darling. The problem we have is that you cannot confirm that those who have lost their lives over the last couple of years, every single, or the majority of them, voted to leave the EU. Because a lot of them also voted to remain. A lot of older people also did vote to remain. And also, I don't want to get into the argument of people losing their lives. It's just disgusting. That's why I say it's ageist. I'm not saying remain is ageist or Brexit is ageist. I'm saying you are ageist. The argument you're making is ageist. Because his argument is that, well, you're saying our argument is ageist. No, Brexit was ageist. The concept can't be ageist. We already said that. And now there is issue that these people are going around essentially saying that, well, we have a feeling every single old person who died voted to leave. Even if that were true, that just makes no sense. They were alive when they had a say in that referendum. That's how democracy works. The legitimate age range between 18 and obviously when you lose your life, that's basically when you vote. You can't have a vote every single 10 minutes or every single 6 months when more people become 18. You can't do that, because then the same could apply to every single domestic policy and every single London mayor election, general election, because every year there's going to be more people who turn 18. Or even let's just say we give voting rights to 16-year-olds, right? There will be every day more people turning 16. So does that mean that you're going to have an election every day on various policy ideas because some people 2 weeks ago didn't have a say? I mean, why? What is wrong with you? Just try your best. As I said, feel free to set up a party, stand for Parliament on a manifesto to rejoin the European Union or get us closer to the EU, campaign for it, and see if you get the vote. That's how it works. Going around shouting at people outside Parliament like Steve Bray, or going around insulting people, or the ordinary people who watch my channel, that doesn't really help anybody. Look at the arguments you're making. And if you're so confident that the new generation are now EU lovers, then calm down. Within the next few years, they're going to have a general election and another one. And then you can have a party to stand for pro-EU values. See what happens. Obviously, I don't like that to happen, but that's how democracy works. Trying to reverse an existing referendum is just a completely nonsensical idea. As I said, he said, oh, you wanted a referendum? No, ideally, I didn't want to have a referendum. I wanted to have a party just stand on a manifesto platform to just leave the EU. But that was never going to happen. There was a deadlock. There was a disconnect between the political establishment in Westminster and normal people up and down the country. That's why we had to have that referendum. Now, let me know what you think, guys, in the comment section. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.